The Dershow.
We heard the testimony, if you want to call it that, of Terrence Bradley, a lawyer who had been a lawyer and a 10-year friend to Nathan Wade. And he was obviously a reluctant witness as he didn't want to testify. Nathan Wade invoked lawyer-client privilege. The judge, however, ruled that he had to testify about things that he saw outside of the lawyer-client privilege. So this guy schlepped up to the witness stand and I guess testified. He just didn't remember anything, and it was amazing. I mean, just watch him. You see him, and you say to yourself, no judge could possibly believe a word he said. He had emails and texts in which he said quite categorically, in both directly and indirectly, and in response to questions from the lawyer for the defendants in the case, that the relationship between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade started well before they said under oath it started. In other words, he said things which, if believed, would result in Fani Willis and Nathan Wade getting disbarred and going to jail based on a conviction for perjury. That's how serious it was. Now, obviously, he regretted having said that in writing to the lawyer on the other side. You don't say things to the lawyer on the other side that are going to hurt your friends and result in a disqualification and maybe imprisonment unless they're true. And even if they're true, sometimes you don't say them. Well, that's what happened on the witness stand. On the witness stand, he basically denied everything. Oh, did I write that stuff? Well, it was just speculation. Why would you engage in speculation to the opposing lawyer of your friend if it wasn't true? But none of this actually happened if you watch CNN. So here's CNN's analysis of it. After more than 2 hours, the hearing concluded today without providing any revelatory information about the timeline of the romantic relationship between Fulton County Prosecutor Nathan Wade and DA Fani Willis, which the defense contends started before Wade was hired, in contrast to what both Wade and Willis have testified. Who are you going to believe? CNN or your lying eyes? The irony is, of course, I watched it on CNN. I saw with my own eyes how he testified and how he provided very revelatory information about it. The revelatory information was not necessarily in his testimony. It was in his texts. It was in the texts written to the lawyer, which he confirmed as true. You could not come away from that 2-hour hearing without absolutely believing that this guy, Terrence Bradley, had told the lawyers for Trump's co-defendants that the relationship definitely began before he was hired as special prosecutor, which they have sworn is the opposite. You could not escape that. And the judge knows that. The judge was sitting there. He's watching. He can tell. He's an experienced judge. You don't have to be that experienced to know. And one of the lawyers put it very well. He said to him, isn't it the fact that, of course, you told the truth in your texts? And in fact, you know that they started their relationship prior to when they say they started the relationship. But you don't want to say that from the witness stand because you don't want your testimony to become the basis for A, disqualifying Fani Willis and her office and Nathan Wade from prosecuting the case, and much worse, putting them in jail and having them lose their license and having them be disbarred and having them lose her job as special prosecutor. Look, if you watch that testimony, the one thing you had to come to the conclusion to is there has to be a special prosecutor appointed in Georgia from another county, somebody who's not part of the establishment in Fulton County, maybe somebody from the opposite political party or somebody who is not partisan, perhaps a former Supreme Court justice in Georgia to do a thorough and independent investigation of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade to see whether they committed the serious crime of A, perjury, B, lying to a court, and C, obstructing justice, and perhaps a conspiracy to obstruct justice if the two of them agreed on their lying testimony. I don't think we're going to see any of those things, and I'm just not sure what the judge is going to do in this case. It'll be very hard. This is a judge in Fulton County. Will a judge have the cojones to actually look the elected district attorney in the eye and say, I have listened to your testimony. I've listened to your boyfriend's testimony. I've listened to his lawyer's testimony. I do not believe you. Will he have the nerve to say that? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if he's an honest and decent judge, at the very least, he'll find that they are recused. If I had to bet widows and orphans money that I couldn't afford to lose on the outcome, probably a safe bet would be that he will recuse the special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, because that's easy.